Speaking of active lookout, I believe everybody's okay. I hope.
That's easy for you to say.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't in a line of fire. But I've had that happen to me before, so I know how it feels.
Hey, well, he took the charge well. Here you see they're trying to push the ball up again. Get that transition game. And then you see the great hustle, and boom, down he goes.
Down goes Frazier. It was okay. Everybody was all right there. We played 1 minute and 16 seconds. Only 2 points to show for it by way of Illinois. Kevin O'Neill's team has won in the Big Ten season, or at least during the time that the Big Ten season is being played against Rice, but winless in the conference at 0-11.
And Jim, the problem is when you have a young guys and they lose some game, their confidence goes down and everything seems to compound itself. You don't think you're going to win a game at all. I remember Illinois last year didn't think they were going to win one. They went into Ann Arbor against Michigan and stole one in there.
Corey Bradford continues his fine outside shooting. It is now 4-0 Illinois. There have been some surprises in this series. Doug has alluded to whether there'll be one tonight will depend on a really strong effort by Northwestern, and perhaps not a great one by Illinois.
And Northwestern wants to get out offensively, having a hard time getting anything going.
Problem for the Cats. Steve Lepore already on the bench with 2 fouls. He's one of their better shooters. Bradford drives and a basket call for traveling.
And Illinois wants to get the ball inside, maybe trying to push it up too quickly, get the ball inside to Cook. Here you see Bradford did a nice job on the other exchange down low, played good defense. There tried to create something that's called for the traveling.
Illinois had that fine outside shooting in Minneapolis Thursday, Doug, but also looked pretty good in transition at times.
They like to move the ball up and down. They've got quick hands. You see Sergio McLean and Frank Williams. They're up in the stats and steals in the Big Ten.
And Corey Bradford with that swipe. There's Lucas Johnson on the baseline. 4-0 Illinois. Look at Williams penetrating. And McLean missed it, but there's Cook to clean it up. Oh, did he ever? And we have seen many games this year where Northwestern has started scoreless and stayed scoreless for a while. Indiana comes to memory recently when the Hoosiers won the game in the first 5 minutes. Hardy trying to move it, broken up, and Illinois again on the break. Illini trying to knock him out early, but missed the layup. Got to finish that one. So a break for Northwestern. Here's Ben Johnson. Look at Cook clean up on the boards.
Yeah, Cook is just dominant on both ends, running the court really well, too. That was not a real advised shot there. They let Northwestern off the hook. Want to take that shot, but off the flow of your offense.
The shutout continues for Illinois. 6-0 Illini. 3.5 minutes into the first half. Blake starts his move and misses badly. Rebound again to Cook. He's going to have double figures in rebounds very shortly.
Okay, Northwestern in his zone right now, 2-3 zone.
They feed the post in Cook, and he has a look outside. Ryan Cook up to the basket, and he is headed back to the free throw line if he was fouled in the act.
Yeah, Illinois looked a little tired there, standing around. Ball goes inside to Cook. There was no movement at all, and I think that's more of a byproduct of the amount of energy they're spending on the defensive end. Northwestern really not doing a good job. You see Cook go one-on-one. Anytime he can get someone down low like that, be able to use his mobility, Northwestern's going to want to collapse on him and not allow him to operate like that.
Doug, Illinois was looking forward to the challenge of Joel Przybyla the other night in Minnesota. It didn't happen because of his circumstances off the court, and yet Minnesota played Illinois very tough, and only was the matter settled in the final 2 minutes of the game or so.
Well, I think Illinois was a little surprised that Minnesota played that well, but I think they were sort of on a rebound, win-win for the Gipper. Let's go out there, and they played a very good game, and Illinois almost let it get away from them.
Point number 5 of the game for Cook, and here's Marcus Griffin. They don't lose much when he comes in.
I mean, that's the premium that Lon Kruger has. Cook goes in, and he brings in Griffin, and there's, like you said, I think they get stronger defensively and rebounding, maybe lacking a little bit in offense.
Illinois by a touchdown and an extra point. Cats need to get into the end zone here. They'll get a television timeout, but still over 4 minutes without a point. It's all Williams and the Illini as you watch Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
Let's talk golf right now, right in the winter, no matter what the weather, all year long. Hi, Mike.
Play, and Northwestern failing to score in more than 4 minutes. Wildcats haven't had many looks at the basket either.
No, they haven't, and they've turned the ball over, and they just hadn't had very many good looks. The looks they have been contested, and you know that's what wins games on the road in this league. It's good, sound defense, and you know, taking control of the basketball, and they've been able to get the crowd out.
Illini still with an opportunity to win the Big Ten Conference Championship. Regular season, a lot would depend on what happens to the teams bunched toward the top. But in the first 4.5 minutes, taking care of their business so far. Bradford open three. And a break for Northwestern. And rebound to the Wildcats, Adam Robinson. Collier Drayton on the move. Again, Steve Lepore started this game, picked up 2 quick fouls, and Lepore averages double figures for the Cats. Robinson nowhere to go, and the shot clock getting down to single digits. Not able to get even close to the basket. Now Robinson on the move and an offensive foul, and not much happened in that possession, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, and give Northwestern credit. I mean, they had patience. They reversed the basketball, tried to create something. Shot clock going down, put the ball on the floor. Johnson does a nice job going over there for the charge, and then you see the turnovers. 5 already for Northwestern.
Wildcats had a very effective game plan at Purdue. They took time off the clock, played great defense, had an 8-point lead in the early part of the second half, and then just ran out of gas. Problem so far, they can't stop Illinois and they can't score.
I mean, Illinois, if they're patient, can get the ball inside at will and just pick apart the young Wildcats. It's just whether they have the patience to do it.
Illinois 9, Northwestern nothing. Here's Marcus Griffin on the move. 11-0 Illinois. Timeout Wildcats. And the crowd you hear are the Illinois fans gathered to root on Lon Kruger and the Fighting Illini. 14-13 for the first half. Illinois by 11. 11-0.
Looking into the Bear's eyes, Tom fired. The Bear didn't flinch. Welcome to Outdoor Life Magazine.
Team for the first half, Marcus Griffin moments ago to the basket for Illinois to add to the lead, which has reached 11.
Yeah, it's so hard to run your offense 30 feet from the basket, and you see the pressure. Even Griffin, 6'9", extending, and Northwestern's got to make those adjustments. There you see the numbers on Marcus, but you've got to make adjustments. It's hard for a young team like Northwestern to say, okay, they're pressuring, you got a backdoor, you got to screen, you got to release, you got to do something for that pressure, because if you don't, you can't even run your offense, and that's what's happening in Northwestern right now.
You know, it's interesting, too. Illinois has done a nice job of bringing Marcus Griffin back. 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, up to 23 the other night, and playing him back into shape.
Well, give him credit. I mean, he has said, hey, I'll come off the bench. I don't have to be a starter. Cook is playing well. And Lon Kruger said, you know, we're going to bring him back as his conditioning goes, 12, 15 minutes, and he gets tired, he waves to the bench, and again, we've talked about the strength of Illinois' depth, and they can bring a guy off the bench to help him out.
In the meantime, how does Northwestern find its way to the basket?
Well, they've got to get their offense going, maybe look back door. They're not going to get anything on the perimeter. Get the ball inside.
Another Wildcat turnover. They're adding up. How about 7 for the first 6 minutes and change?
See, Illinois is challenging Northwestern to get the ball inside and try to score down low. Northwestern, again, more of a three-point oriented team, looks to score from the perimeter. They've got to look inside more.
Well, the no-hitter continues for Illinois. A rebound by the Wildcats. And maybe this trips some points. Ben Johnson for three. Quick shot taken there, but Illinois touched it last, so it's out of bounds to the Cats. Lon Kruger was pretty boisterous at the end of the Minnesota game the other night.
Well, he wasn't happy the way they finished, and he wanted them to understand that even though we won this game, we didn't finish it the way we wanted to. And so he was very upset about that, and I think he got his point across.
Felt like the team didn't take time to run the clock smartly down the stretch. Also felt his team was behind a step or two during the course of the game. The press was beaten on many occasions. They did give up 80 points that night to a Minnesota team that did not have Prisbilla or Bickerstaff.
Yeah, but Minnesota is such a tough team in Williams Arena. I mean, they're probably 15 points better than going on the road. And they're going to, although they've lost Prisbilla, they're still going to beat some people there.
I'm curious, how did you do up there?
We didn't do very well. So I speak out of experience.
Next subject, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Northwestern's history this season of slow starts reflected in this graphic against Indiana. Down 18-0. A very good Ohio State team had them 14-zip. Michigan State 12-0, and you can add 11-0 to the numbers.
And the problem with that, when you get down, you got to spend so much energy to get back in there. But once you get there, it's like you can't finish it off. And then the team counterattacks, and you see again Illinois getting inside again.
See, that's a very good point. You got to climb the mountain, and by the time you climbed it, you're gassed. Right now, though, the Cats would settle for points any which way, and a blocking foul coming up on Illinois' Lucas Johnson.
See, as Illinois gains confidence, now they come out in that full court pressure, something that Northwestern wasn't used to. Most of the pressure so far has been half court. And again, they don't get the ball into Newman's hands or the guards, and the wrong guys dribbling the basketball.
And not surprising, Lon Kruger would like to knock them out early.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want to do, especially here in this arena. I mean, Northwestern, when they can get going, having played here, it's very difficult once they get their confidence going. Then you've got a game, and you've got a lot on your hands. So far, Illinois has done a nice job of taking the crowd out.
Not many shots for the Wildcats because of Illinois' defense and the steals, and because of the turnovers. They have reached 9.
Northwestern does a nice job getting into Jennings' hands, but he just has a hard time there. You have 9 turnovers with still 12 minutes to go, and off those turnovers you get 10 points, and that's how Illinois gets going with their offense. It starts with their defense.
Definitely the story of this game so far. Illinois with a 48-hour turnaround, and have looked very good in this quick turnaround. It is now 15-0 Illini. And Illinois not about to take the foot off the throat yet. Wildcats cannot find an opening. And they need somebody to break them down. Here's Johnson. He can do that. And before he does that, personal foul on Illinois. We have another timeout. And Illinois has had a field day so far. 15-0 as you watch Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
This is racing at its best. This is Kids in Motorsports. Kids in Motorsports is a show on the move, and we're making a lot of noise. Strap yourself in and hold on tight. This is one power-packed television series hosted by the one and only, one of NASCAR's very best, John Andretti.
Hi, I'm John Andretti. This is Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South. Watch us here each week on Kids in Motorsports. He's the man.
This is Kids in Motorsports.
Wednesday afternoons at 3 on Channel 62.
Richard and Lindsay Roberts, and special guests on Something Good Tonight, the Hour of Healing. You'll experience the healing power of God like never before in this interactive hour of television every Monday through Friday on this station.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Sonny.
I'm Dean.
And I'm Darius of Hootie and the Blowfish for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving.
It's this simple. When we go out together, we follow one rule: never drink and drive.
That's why we always choose a designated driver. After all, we're not just a band, we're friends.
So if one of your friends has been drinking, get the keys, because friends don't let friends drive drunk.
She said, makes her mind up.
Moments ago, Illinois on offense, Doug.
Well, we talked about Lucas Johnson doing all the little things. Here he penetrates, brings two Northwestern Wildcats together, then Sergio McKinkleton. But those are the things that we talk about, the little things. I mean, everybody worries about, a lot of fans scoring points, but it's the guys that takes charges, the guy that throws that pass, that sets up his teammate. And Lucas Johnson, once he came in as a starter on this team, he has elevated this team. Guys are starting to play better around him.
And you make an interesting point. Guys are finding their roles here, are happy with their roles. A lot of talent on this Illinois team, but mixing them together, meshing them together is going to be important, because this has the potential of a team that could go very far in the NCAA tournament, I believe.
Yeah, and even other than Michigan State, most of their losses by average are around 3 or 4 points. So they're a team that a couple wins here or there, I mean, they're lower in the Big Ten right now, but they could be leading with Michigan State in the conference. So this is a young team that keeps getting better and better.
Northwestern again has to work against the clock, and not anything close to the basket. Illinois by 15 with all 15 points. A disastrous start before a sellout crowd for Northwestern. On the low blocks. Shot missed, and the Wildcats have another chance to get on the board. Ben Johnson, good-looking freshman from Minneapolis. Kind of look for him to create something here.
Every time he does, he breaks Williams down, but another blue jersey comes out of nowhere. So good help defense by Illinois. Again, they're trying to run their offense with only 10 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Even if it's part of the plan, Northwestern's got to start looking toward the basket. Johnson forces a three. And again, the Wildcats without a point. This has lasted more than 10 minutes. And Illinois with a rare turnover, just its third at 9:29 in the first half. And the Illinois fans here booing, I guess desiring blood at this point is what they're into. Ron Kruger wasn't happy with the call either.
Well, you see Kevin O'Neill really patting his young guys on the back and trying to keep them going, play with, you know, a little more confidence out there. Right now, they're shell-shocked. Even if they get a wide-open shot, they're quick with their release. They're a little off on their timing.
Another possession for the Cats. Here's Hardy. Newman and Lepore, the guards, can shoot the outside jumper. Northwestern best in the league in threes. Now the double against Newman, meaning somebody's open. That's Hardy. And before Hardy takes the shot, an offensive foul on Northwestern.
Well, Newman, you see he tries to take it on his shoulders and break down Illinois, and he gets in to the interior. But what happens is when you jump in the air and you're out of control, good defensive teams will slide in there, and Johnson takes the charge. You see, going in there, there's nowhere to go. You go out of control, and you can't do that against good defensive teams, and Johnson slips in there for the charge.
So the blank spot for Northwestern continues, and a super move by a good-looking player, Marcus Griffin. 17-0 Illinois. Northwestern still without a point. Pretty soon we're going to have to start looking up records to see if that's ever happened in the modern day in the first half without anybody scoring. My guesses would be yes. We are at Welsh Ryan Arena Evanston, Illinois. Doug Altenberger, Jim Barber, a pleasure to have you with us tonight. We wish we had more of a competitive game, but honesty compels us to tell you it has been all Illinois, 17-0, and we just have 8.5 minutes to go in the half part.
Well, and Illinois coming out with their experience, and they want to really attack the young Northwestern Wildcats, and they've done that. They've done a nice job, and Wildcats have had a hard time responding to the pressure.
Northwestern closer to the basket. Illinois with another steal. Bradford on the run. Missing badly on the three, and Lepore in the open court. Maybe the no-hitter can be broken. Hardy keeps it alive, and now the fans are just getting into Northwestern trying to score. Here's Brody Dare with a rebound. Ooh, this is getting to be really tough for Northwestern. Cats have now gone 3 television timeouts without a point. Maybe somebody on Northwestern can find the basket. 7:50 left in the first half.
We call them entrepreneurs. They're independent, always challenging. They make it with new ideas and quick responses. They expect the same in return. And you know what? More of them get their health care plans from the most trusted name in the business. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. The company that's been thinking ahead for more than 60 years. A company with plans for the future.
You don't do what I do for a living unless you want to be heard. How's that? Louder! So I banged up my truck, right? I called my insurance company. Did anybody hear me? Nope. Out to lunch. The one time I need them, where are they?
Better to call country companies, where you'll always talk to real people with real answers, real quick.
Somebody there to listen. That's all I want.
Country Companies Insurance.
This 17-0 Illinois shutout so far. Northwestern has not lacked for energy or effort. We will show you what we mean.
Well, we talk about young teams having spacing, doing all the right things. You see all the blue jerseys down there. You've got to get to the open spot. And that's what's hurt Northwestern. At any time they've broken down Illinois, guys aren't at the right spot offensively. And if you're not, then, you know, Illinois will be able to guard 2 guys in the same spot. And that's what Kevin O'Neill's been working with his team. Consistency offensively, trying for them to get their spacing, get to the open spot. That's hard to teach young guys.
Let's see if these young guys can find a basket. They're low this season for a half, 8 points at home against Evansville. But they won't score doing things that way. Bradford this time doesn't take the shot as Krupalya controls down low. A nightmare for the Cats tonight at Welsh Ryan. 0 points as we approach 13 minutes gone in the first half. Good play by Brown. Up and in, Cleotis Brown. A terrific play.
And we talked about Illinois coming out after Minnesota up in Williams Arena, maybe a little tired, but you can tell they're a step quicker than Northwestern, especially on defense.
Maybe if the Cats score, they ought to stop the game. Mike Sanzier spots traveling, and you're right, they are shell-shocked.
Yeah, right now they're just snake bit, and it's just they're trying to force things, and it's difficult. But there we talked about Kevin O'Neill being positive with these guys. You know, clapping his hands, let's get going.
Here's Cook on the move. Illinois doing very well in the paint, trying again and scoring again in the paint. Now it's a 3-touchdown lead. Tell you what, I didn't expect this. I know Northwestern's had it rough this year, but 21-0?
Again, you see Northwestern, they get the ball in the corner there. We talked about there's no release there. You can see example there where ball goes in the corner. There's no other white jerseys. They're on the other side, and there's nowhere for them to go. Fortunately, Illinois knocked the ball out of bounds. There would have been another turnover.
I'm sure you've heard it before. The baseline becomes the sixth defender. Jennings on the back end. Rapalje rebound and a foul on Tavares Hardy.
See, Jennings would just go up there and make that shot normally, but we talked about them just, the pressure that Illinois is applying, that you rush your shots and get up there a little bit quicker. When you do that, your timing's off. There you see Kevin O'Neill just trying to stay with these guys and see the slow starts again. And tonight they've broken a new record, unfortunately.
Yes, it's gone to the top of the list. A dubious distinction. Good pass to Brown inside. And Cleonis Brown adds his second field goal. 6 points for the evening. 23 for Illinois. Nothing for Northwestern. If you're just joining us, you're looking at the numbers and saying there must be a graphic mistake. There isn't. Somebody for the Cats.
And you
has to be the man.
And you think Illinois would let up defensively. They look like they're getting stronger.
Hardy looking to tip it in out of bounds to Illinois.
And now you start to hear the Illinois crowd.
Yeah. I don't know if it's fair to say, but you feel sorry for Northwestern.
I don't think the fans in orange do.
No. I should qualify for that. Illinois turns the ball over with an even 5 minutes for the first half. Kevin O'Neill's team. And Kevin certainly has a lack for energy, but his team has not found the hoop. Maybe this possession. There's more drama in the offense here. Jennings! Yes, sir! Well, look at the crowd. I love it.
We talked about the give and go. Jennings releases. There's nobody over there. Harrington's too late. And finally, they get 2 points. They score. But we talked about Jennings. He's really come on, has played extremely well. In the last 4 games, he's averaged 13 points and 6 boards a game.
Well, you know what, Doug? Northwestern's on a run now.
Yeah.
3 straight. 23-3 Illini.
This is where you tell your young team, forget about the score. Just play hard and execute.
Deep 3 from Harrington. And a rebound by Drayton. Let's see if this loosens up the Cats a bit after the old-fashioned 3-point play by Jennings. The lid has been officially removed from the basket. Shot clock again working down to single digits, part of Northwestern's plan, as we get down to 4 minutes for the half. Northwestern cannot follow up their 3 moments ago as they turn the ball over for the 13th time. And the foul coming up on Illinois.
We talk about sound defense in Illinois. I mean, give them credit for one reason why they're held Northwestern scoreless. See how they seal off the baseline and then they drop to the level of the basketball. I mean, all 5 guys are right underneath the hoop. That's like perfect man-to-man defense. You can't teach it any better than that.
Team foul number 7 on Illinois as Northwestern looks to make a move. Well, before that happens, Steve Lepore, who is a pretty good free throw shooter at 79%, will try to add to Northwestern's total of 3. to do so, but Illinois knocks the ball out of bounds. We have a timeout, and Northwestern finally has points. You are watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
WJYS-TV has stretched its broadcast signal to better reach you and to reach you better. Now, from high atop the Sears Tower, WJYS can now also be seen on Channel 34. That's right, Channel 34, 24 hours a day. Check your cable listings for WJYS or watch us now on Broadcast Channel 34. WJYS, Channel 62 and 34. We're joyfully your station. WJYS-TV.
If you like the Winning in Life television program, then you need the all-new Winning in Life magazine, filled with personal stories of success and articles to help you overcome the obstacles you face and concentrate on the finish line. Winning in Life magazine features important information on your family, your finances, your job, your spiritual life, and even your health. Write or call the number on your screen today and ask for your free subscription to Winning in Life, the magazine for winners.
Hey, kid. Boyfriend wants to know if that girl will go out with him. Pass it down.
Hey, Grandma, ask the girl on the end if she wants to go out with this loner.
The young man wants to know if the girl over there is a donor.
Somebody wants to know if you're an organ and tissue donor.
Yes.
Hey, me too.
Are you a donor? Make sure your family knows your decision so there's no question later.
Working his team as if the game is tied instead of Illinois up by 20. That's our score here. Jim Barber and Doug Altenberger. And the rest of the country reads something like this on the ESPN USA Today Top 20. The Cardinals doubling up on Cal. Duke was a winner today in a pretty tough place to play in Raleigh, North Carolina. Arizona headed to the tournament. UCLA perhaps not. Bruins have had a rough go of it. Michigan State battling Ohio State for the conference lead with a tough win today at Wisconsin, or against Wisconsin. And Ohio State at last check up by 5 against Indiana. Time winding down in that game. Empty possession again for Northwestern. Alley-oop! And Illinois missed it.
Again, the turnover by Northwestern cost the transition at the other end, and fortunately for Northwestern, Griffin's not able to convert.
Griffin's going to get another try here, but he decides to slow it up. And Illinois will have everybody touch the ball on the possession. You see some pretty good teamwork on the part of this group from Illinois.
Yeah, that was a good idea. They pulled it out. Nothing was there, trying to get the ball inside.
And free throws coming up for Marcus Griffin. He was fouled inside.
Well, we talked about everybody sort of getting a better feel on the team. You know, maybe early in the season they would have tried to force something there. There they backed it back out, took their time under control, made good decisions, and now they get it to the free throw line with Griffin.
If you're just joining us, Northwestern fell behind 23-0 in this first half. And finally, basket inside and foul and made free throw.
And if you just turned in, I mean, there hasn't been a lot of opportunities by Northwestern.
No,
turnovers have really hurt them. They've struggled with handling the basketball. Illinois has come out and really pressured them. And then when they have had shots, they've rushed them. And they've just really struggled offensively.
For Northwestern, they still have to play Illinois again before the season is out.
It's so tough to win in this league with a bunch of young guys, freshmen and sophomores. Von Kruger knows he went through a difficult season last year, but they were able to turn it around in the Big Ten tournament. So sometimes young teams, when they go through the wall, they see March coming along, they sort of get a second wind, and anything can happen in the tournament.
Darren on a baseline, double teamed, finds a man in the corner. But the shot clock works against him. Still Johnson able to find the rim. Northwestern stuck on one basket and one free throw for the first half. And 1 of 15 shooting. Mikey Williams, a rainbow three, rebounded by Griffin. Illinois will reset the offense. And And that particular possession didn't last very long.
And Northwestern is starting to pick up their defense. Illinois looking a little ragged, but that's because Northwestern is making Illinois shoot from the outside. And they've done a nice job the last 5-6 minutes of sealing the inside. Illinois, with Cleotis Brown, were able to get inside. But so far, they've made nice adjustments defensively.
Johnson trying to create, finds Hardy. Johnson still scoreless. He averages 12 a game.
Well, Johnson, whenever he breaks down, there's just nothing there. You see the great hands of Frank Williams.
And McClain to finish, but before he does, you're Drayton with the hustle caught up to him. Drayton has been in 2 or 3 different sections of this game.
Yeah, even though they've struggled offensively, we talked about their effort. Their effort has been A+. Here you see the great hands by Williams. You can't turn around, reverse your dribble like that. He'll come right from behind you. And the great hustle by Drayton to come length of the court. Sergio McClain has easily 3 or 4 steps on him.
For the season averages 6. He has scored 6 in this game. Marcus Griffin, a healthy workout so far in the first half. And in the meantime, some education for the freshman from Plano, Texas, Winston Blake. Cleotis Brown re-enters the game. He's had a good first half, and Illinois up by 22. Will go back with full court pressure. Again, Northwestern's low for the season for the first half, 8 against Evansville, in a game in which the Cats scored only 26. Points have been so very hard for this young Northwestern team to come by.
And one of the things, though, that Northwestern sort of lives and dies by that 3-point shot. Illinois is, Lepore and Johnson have just been able to seal them off, and they haven't had any good looks. And they lead the league in the Big Ten in free throws attempted. I mean, in 3 points attempted, and they go inside, but they really don't have the strength to go inside and consistently to be a factor. Lon Kruger knows that, and he's made those adjustments.
Doug at the half. We'll get into the Big Ten wire and also look at stats and highlights of the first half. We have at least one Northwestern highlight we can show you. Here's Frank Williams. Illinois getting itself into pretty good position. Actually, Lon Kruger said last week before the Iowa game, we're getting in position to get to position.
Yeah, I mean, it starts in practice. I mean, you got to be able to see it, guys coming together, working hard, and that's happening to Illinois. There you see Bradford's ninth in the league in scoring, and he's a guy that he can start shooting the ball just a little bit better. He's still scoring all right, but he's not shooting very well from the field for percentage-wise. He can get going. Frank Williams now starting to improve. That's the key to a team, getting better and better as the season goes along. And Illinois has done that.
I would think, too, you want to be very sharp Tuesday night in Champaign when Indiana comes in for a late-night game.
That's a big, again, we talk about indicators, Lon Kruger. Michigan State was an indicator. That's another indicator for them when Indiana comes in, how they will respond and how they play, how well they play against Indiana.
Illinois' defense very strong tonight,
and it has been strong all year. That's been one of their strengths is the defense aspect of it. Well, rebounding, surprisingly, they've been 6 out of 12 games in the Big Ten they've struggled, being out rebounded.
A second chance for Northwestern, and maybe a third. No, Lucas Johnson behind the back for Corey Bradford. Ring it up. 30-4, Illinois. And for Northwestern, the first half mercifully coming to an end. A minute to go, and Illinois holding the Wildcats to 1 field goal. Will play some more defense.
Well, Jim, you talked about them. They don't run their offense for about 12 seconds to go. Once they do that, their back's against the wall. It's very difficult.
The second second field goal of the first half for Northwestern by Brody Darren. And a chant of defense somewhere in the house. Good backdoor cut, and somehow a block was made. But to say it's been all Illinois understates what we've seen tonight. At halftime, and we're not kidding, Illinois 30, Northwestern 6. When we come back, our halftime show, including halftime stats and highlights on ESPN+.
Do you want to know the easiest way to put a smile on someone's face? Well, you're looking at it. Prairie Farms ice cream. The ice cream that's won a whole bunch of blue ribbons at state fairs over the years. And more importantly, that's helped light up several generations of faces. So try some Prairie Farms yourself. You'll see. Prairie Farms ice cream. Up to 60 smiles in every half gallon.
It's his first time in the hospital. So who do you want making the decisions? We're HMO Illinois, the only Blue Cross HMO, where you choose the doctors from the widest network and make the medical decisions together. Respect. It's why working men and women rate HMO Illinois #1 in member satisfaction. At HMO Illinois, we want to be your health plan, not your doctor.
No one looks at the markets with a more insightful eye than Barron's, offering timely coverage of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, everything investors need to stay informed. Subscribe now and you'll also receive this Barron's Stock Evaluator free. It lets your computer help you turn money into wealth. Get 13 weeks of Barron's and the Stock Evaluator all for only $39. Call now toll-free.
800-334-6600. That's 800-334-6600.
In a world where new technology has created a growing need for strategic relationships between companies, CDS Office Technologies leads the way in advanced solutions for the convergence of office technology. They can help businesses achieve high performance in times of increasing technological change or chaos. CDS supplies more than network support and boxes. They provide complete office solutions. CDS Office Technologies, connecting people in 2000 and beyond.
Are you sure that's him?
Yes, I'm sure that's him. And him. And him too. Oh, Millie, how are things at work? Hi. Hello. Oh, Rachel.
With our mobile calling feature, you pay nothing for all local calls to and from other Ameritech Cellular customers.
Hi, Mom.
Try it now. It's free for 3 months.
You called all these people? Yeah, for free.
Sign up for plans starting at $25 a month and get a free ClearPath digital phone, 100 minutes, and free mobile calling.
Continues tonight from Northwestern. It is Illinois 30, Northwestern 6 at halftime. Jim Barber, Doug Altenberger. Well, we thought Illinois would be favored. We thought Illinois would win. I believe we did not feel this would happen, though.
No, not at all. I mean, Illinois took Northwestern's perimeter game right away from them, and then Illinois got the ball inside and just took advantage of the weak and young Northwestern Wildcats.
Wildcats had a season low of 8 in the first half against Evansville. That's by the boards already, 6 just for the first half, and just 2 made field goals to speak of. Well, Northwestern still has hope. There's still other games to go after this, and of course the Big Ten tournament as well.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's what you want a young team. You want to keep, you know, Kevin O'Neill talked about them getting better and better consistency in practice, and it's coming into March, but they haven't been able to take it from the practice floor out to here tonight.
Illinois had that wonderful March last year. As it turns out, though, Northwestern perhaps won't have the type of March that Illinois had. By the way, the rest of the conference is finished up today, and just moments ago in Bloomington, Ohio State defeated Indiana 82-71. So what does that mean for the Big Ten tournament? Well, if the tournament were to start tomorrow, your play-in round, so to speak, or your first round action would include Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and these same Wildcats against Penn State. and a pretty good quarterfinal matchup between Indiana and Illinois. If you remember, those two teams met last year on quarterfinal day. Big question everybody wants to know, besides the graphics and your conference champ, who's going to be player of the year? Let's take a look at the candidates. As the conference race heats up, so does the competition for Big Ten Player of the Year. IU's A.J. Guyton, a strong candidate, as is Ohio State Buckeye floor general Scooney Penn. Now, Penn State's Jarrett Stevens could be a dark horse, averaging almost 19 points a game. But maybe another front runner is Michigan State's Mo Peterson, last season's Sixth Man of the Year.
The difference between starting and coming off the bench is, when you start, you have to set the tone. You can't, watch to see how the game is playing. You can't watch to see how the tone is. You have to set the tone. And last year, I had to come and make some adjustments to see whether, try to help build a lead or maintain a lead.
30-6 is our halftime score. Will continue with activities from Evanston. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
Let's talk golf right now, right in the winter, no matter what the weather, all year long. Hi, Mike North here. Imagine playing golf indoors. Practice your drive, improve your swing. That's right, Indoor Golf Links of America in Orland Park. It's actually the same as having your own personal trainer, only better. It's at your own pace, your own convenience. Indoor Golf Links lets you continue the improvement in privacy. So when you tee off next spring, you'll be yards ahead of the rest of them. Driving an indoor golf is definitely worth the drive. Tell them Mike North sent you. You never know who you might see there.
WJYS-TV has stretched its broadcast signal to better reach you and to reach you better. Now, from high atop the Sears Tower, WJYS can now also be seen on Channel 34. That's right, Channel 34, 24 hours a day. Check your cable listings for WJYS or watch us now on Broadcast Channel 34. WJYS, Channel 62 and 34. We're joyfully your station. WJYS-TV.
Hey, guys, check this out. They want me to register with the Selective Service.
Hey, man, you 18. You got to register. It's the law.
Big deal. What are they going to do if I don't register?
One thing's for sure. You'll never get a government job.
Or federal loans for college.
And you'll never pass a background check. Because not signing up is a felony, man. Still think it's cool?
And now you can register with Selective Service online at www.sss.gov.
That is cool.
Welcome back to halftime at Welsh Ryan Arena. Let's take a moment to hear from each of our two participating schools, Northwestern University and the University of Illinois.
Hi, I'm Allison Curtin, University of Illinois point guard. Because we're Big Ten, people think Illinois means basketball, but it really means education. We offer our students over 150 majors to choose from and over 4,000 courses. Plus, Mosaic, the first browser of the World Wide Web, was developed here at Illinois. We're the University of Illinois, where academics come first. Hello, Dean Riley.
Hello, Allison. Time's the game tonight.
The University of Illinois. Academics first. Oops, a close second.
Professor Michelson, I met my sophomore year. I knew he was a professor in the English department, had heard wonderful things about him, and everyone said, oh, take classes with him, take classes with him.
One of the beauties of this campus is the faculty member in the classroom working with you is very likely to be a nationally or internationally recognized researcher in his or her field. And sometimes all it takes is a question about that research and a demonstrated willingness to join in order to make that connection.
You're the one who has to go and make the contact. Or with Professor Michelson, having to just go up casually and say, hey, hi, I'm this person, I'm thinking about taking your class. Once you do that, it's amazing how professors respond. I mean, they love to talk to you, and that immediately makes the campus go from being huge to being nice and small.
It's hard to keep track of how many different areas Maya is interested in and knowledgeable about. She's an English major, she's pre-med, she's a budding historian of science. All these things are possibilities for her.
When you have so many options, so many opportunities, so much flexibility, if you just take a little tiny step, it's amazing what can happen.
She came in with a kind of free-floating curiosity. Very quickly, I think, with extraordinary speed, it ripened into a genuine interest in research, a genuine interest in moving ahead professionally. and a very powerful interest in helping others to have the same kind of high, serious commitment to what they were doing.
She's the kind of student that I think really makes you feel optimistic about the future. I'm very optimistic when I think of students like Maya being the leaders of the next generation.
She's a friend. I think in a lot of cases we regard her as a colleague and as a peer. I mean, when that kind of intellectual curiosity is deep and genuine, you gain a respect for it very, very quickly.
He's right. He's been a wonderful friend for me and a wonderful mentor for the past 2 years.
Students don't realize how professors really are open to contact. Anyone who has the courage to go up and knock on a door usually finds the door is open already.
The door is open all the time, and it's just a matter at a large university of coming across that threshold and making those contacts.
Montague Rizigi is developing technology that will carry millions of bits of information faster. She's also developing a wonderful rapport with her 6 students. Mary Zimmerman has earned national attention as a dynamic theater director. Her 15 students also give her rave reviews. Robert Lamb is an internationally recognized expert on the flu virus. His 30 biology students find his enthusiasm quite contagious. Northwestern University, where big ideas come in small classes.
Coming up, first half highlights and statistics. When we return to Evanston, Illinois, it's the Illini and the Northwestern Wildcats, ESPN+.
We call them entrepreneurs. They're independent, always challenging. They make it with new ideas and quick responses. They expect the same in return. And you know what? More of them get their health care plans from the most trusted name in the business, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, the company that's been thinking ahead for more than 60 years, a company with plans for the future.
Hiya, Joan. Looks like snow.
Really?
People think the snowiest U.S. city is in Alaska. Like many people think Mercedes-Benz are not ideal for winter driving. But the C230 compressor with standard traction control is great for all types of weather. In Chicago, Denver, Boston, or Rochester, the actual snowiest large city in the U.S.
Here's a way to help your business with no risk at all. Just call for your free trial version of QuickBooks Pro, America's #1 best-selling small business accounting software. From the makers of Quicken, so you know it's easy to use. Want to write a check? You just start typing, and QuickBooks Pro fills in the rest. It shows you how much money you're owed and who owes it. It even prints invoices with your company logo. Call for your free QuickBooks Pro trial version now. There's no bill, no hassle. There's no risk. You can't do better than that.
With Doug Altenberger, Jim Barber back in Evanston. The second half about ready to commence. Illinois very much in control with a lead of 30-6. First half highlights, not surprisingly, all favoring Illinois, the visiting team, and they took charge pretty early in this game, partner.
Yeah, they sure did. They had 9 steals in the first half. That's a lot for a team, any team. And here you see really active inside. Cook got off. Was a dominant force early in the first half, and then Griffin took over when he came out of the game, and he had 2 steals, and he was able to use his speed and quickness out there. And Lucas Johnson did a nice job with a couple of key assists, and sets up McLean, who had nice 7 points in the first half. He played extremely well, and here you see Jennings, one of the few times the Northwestern was able to get loose on offense. You see again how active Illinois was. Lucas Johnson throwing around here, and Bradford. Northwestern did a good job behind the 3-point line, but that was one of the few times they broke down.
Let's take a look at the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois first half stats. The 20-2 margin of points off turnovers very decisive here in this first half. And the inside inside points not bad either. Most of the inside activity, in fact, all of it dominated by Illinois. Margin of 18-2. We'll come back for the second half and see if Northwestern can get something going finally. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
WJYS-TV has stretched its broadcast signal to better reach you and to reach you better. Now, from high atop the Sears Tower, WJYS can now also be seen on Channel 34. That's right, Channel 34, 24 hours a day. Check your cable listings for WJYS or watch us now on Broadcast Channel 34. WJYS, Channel 62 and 34. We're joyfully your station. WJYS-TV. Get hooked on 62 as WJYS goes outdoors. Saturday afternoons from 4:30 to 6. At 4:30, it's John Gillespie's Waters and Woods. At 5, it's Chicago's longest-running outdoor program, Midwest Outdoors. Learn the where-tos and how-tos of outdoor activities right in your own backyard. Catch Chicago's favorite outdoor shows, Saturday afternoons from 4:30 to 6 on WJYS-TV, Channel 62.
If you need to be inspired, if you need your burdens lifted, if you need to be healed, be sure to watch our television special on Thursday night, February the 24th, 11 to 12 p.m. My name is Bishop Cody V. Marshall, pastor of Freedom Temple, Church of God in Christ, Chicago, Illinois. God bless you.
Faithful as we get set for the start of the second half. The Wildcats went more than 15 minutes before finally scoring a point. But do you think that guy right there minds? Of course not.
Well, the fans love to have a good time whether they're up or down, and sure they'd be a little more energy if they were up. And the band here is always one of the best in the Big Ten. They do a nice job.
First half scoring, Illinois has had obviously the best of the top scorers. They have a couple with 7, McLean and Bradford. Cleotis Brown off the bench with a pretty nice performance of 6.
Yeah, all those coming inside did a nice job of curling on the screens and took advantage of the lack of strength by Northwestern. He got to the paint a lot of times.
In your opinion, how deep is Illinois effectively?
Well, they have about 9 guys they can bring off the bench. Maybe at times even more. I mean, they brought Nate Mast, who was a walk-on up in Williams Arena. He came in and played some valuable minutes when Williams was struggling.
Yes, I believe Nate's average was 1 a game until Minnesota, and he quadrupled that.
Well, he played a lot last year, but with the improvement of the talent level, and there you see, finally, they're able to get inside, and that's, talk about spacing. Jennings did a nice job of releasing, going down the lane, and good feed, and he's able to finish it off. And that's what Northwestern wants to do. They want to come out, forget about the score, and play this game like it's 0-0 in the second half.
By the way, Aaron Jennings has 2 dunks for Northwestern, 5 points. He has 5 of Northwestern's 8. Despite the big lead, Lon Kruger has not stopped coaching or directing his team as Jennings starts the second half on a very positive note.
What happens was Cook was overplaying. He's trying to pressure the passing lane. Jennings reads that, releases to the hoop, and that's, again, reading the defense.
Drayton with a step in to Hardy, who has yet to score. Johnson scoreless as well. He's had a rough go of it. Illinois back with numbers. And Northwestern effectively planning itself in the way of any problems. Collier Drayton has covered every inch of this arena so far tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some speed and quickness. He hustles down there and does a nice job of getting position. And you see McLean out of control. He had nowhere to go. He was trying to pass it. Then he was going to score, and then he jumped in the lane. And good charge by Northwestern.
And that is Sergio's first personal foul of the game. Lepore started the game with 2 fouls, and that did not help Northwestern. Illinois has smothered Ben Johnson tonight.
Yeah, Johnson, when he has got his looks, the shot doesn't even look that good. I think he's a little bit intimidated right now defensively.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. In addition, he has had some looks, but nothing good.
That was a tough pass
to work with, and The thread the needle pass of the night goes to Lucas Johnson.
Well, there's an example of Brian Cook, the great hands he has. That was just a tough bounce pass.
Brian Cook, a freshman from Lincoln, Illinois, and his backup, at least for most of the season, a fine junior, Marcus Griffin. Jennings going to work inside. He has 2 baskets already, and he's going back to the line. And we talk about the youth of Illinois. Well, Aaron Jennings is a freshman as well.
And Jennings takes a nice positioning. I mean, he's able to get loose offensively. Cook having a hard time. There you see O'Neal telling, hey, we've got to get that ball inside. Got to be patient, reverse it, look inside. And Jennings, he's got good movement for a big guy. Has nice mobility. Cook is a guy who can be an intimidator, shot blocker, has great reach. But Jennings has gone straight up with him, hasn't felt intimidated at all.
He has also put Brian Cook in a bit of foul difficulty. Cook now has 3, and he'll be excused for a while for his most viable backup, Marcus Griffin.
And that hurt Cook earlier in the Big Ten season. He got in foul trouble, and that put him on the bench. And when he became a starter, he was able to not get in foul trouble, and that's the reason why he did so well offensively. He wasn't on the bench.
Kevin O'Neal's team down 32-9. That's 7 now for Jennings. Or rather 6 of the 9 for Jennings. And Frank Williams looking inside, throws it away, and gets a word or 2 from the bench.
Then Frank was trying to read Lucas Johnson. He set the screen. Lucas didn't release. Frank thought that his guy came up to double team, and we talked about handling the basketball. Right now, Illinois having a hard time here in the second half.
Griffin took that away from Jennings, and Illinois on the loose again. Drayton went right up against McClain to try to block it. He did prevent the basket, but he picks up the foul. Big Ten basketball is brought to you by Dynegy, America's dynamic energy company and a Big Ten corporate partner when it comes to getting reliable electricity and natural gas. Dynegy delivers.
Drayton, he does a great job of getting back. I mean, there's a couple times here where you think Illinois' got the numbers, but that's what you want to teach your guards. Get back defensively. Don't allow any transition or easy buckets. And he does a nice job. And although he gets back, he fouls Sergio McClain. That was a good foul because McClain's not one of the better free throw shooters on the team.
Just 64%, but already above his scoring average with 9. This game began as a continuing nightmare for Northwestern. The Wildcats could not score for more than 15 minutes and trailed 23-0. By the way, since that juncture, just an 11-9 edge for Illinois. So if you're looking for positives, that's one of them.
Yeah.
The positives have been hard to come by tonight.
Well, right. I mean, and that's what you want to teach your young guys. That's the hard thing. Is for them to play hard for 40 minutes and not to have those peaks and valleys. And they went through a valley early on. I mean, they dug a deep valley, and now they're working hard to play solid basketball. You see Jennings is able to release, and he's starting to get his confidence going offensively.
Aaron Jennings with 8 of Northwestern's 11, and he was the man who broke the scoreless drought for the Wildcats at the 4:47 mark of the first half. Lucas Johnson in midair, basket and 1.
Well, Illinois did a nice job of reversing the basketball. We talk about Bradford, his scoring ability, but he brought a couple guys over to him. He brought Lucas Johnson's defender over to him, and Johnson reads the defenses that they clear out, and he had a clear lane to the basket. Northwestern is slow in coming over to recover defensively.
Lucas had his career high the other night in Minneapolis with 18. He averages almost 7 a game.
And he's a guy that struggled really early on in the Big Ten season. He wasn't even getting much time out there, let alone playing well. And I think he had a little heart-to-heart with the coaching staff, and they said, listen, we're not looking for you to score. We're looking for you to do the other things. And once he settled down, he's really come on and played really well.
And you know, his scoring's a most attractive bonus because he's a very good three-point shooter.
Right. Well, he's a guy that if he can live off of Bradford and Cook and Griffin, and there you see finally, Lepore gets open behind the three-point line. One of the few times they've had a nice look behind the line.
So for the second half, Northwestern already has 7 points. Again, the Cats only had 6 for the entire first half. A foul outside, spotted on Corey Bradford. Illinois' team fouls now starting to collect. And we have a timeout. 15:47 for the second half. Illinois on way to win number 17.
The beauty of ice cream is that you don't even have to eat it to really enjoy it. Because when you think about it, you can have a pretty good time just watching other people eat it. At least that's how we feel at Prairie Farms. Maybe it's because for generations, we've watched folks all over the Midwest enjoy our ice cream. And that's made us feel pretty good. Even better, in fact, than the many blue ribbons our ice cream has won at state fairs. So if you're looking for a good time, here's our suggestion. Eat some Prairie Farms ice cream.
We connect you to the future. CDS Office Technologies.
CDS Office Technologies. Their network expertise, coupled with their training and support for your system and staff, keeps your business productive and efficient. They can design, install, and implement a range of voice, data, and electrical solutions using ISDN and fiber optics. They specialize in leading digital connectivity solutions today and into the future. CDS Office Technologies.
Are you sure that's him?
Yes, I'm sure that's him. And him. And him too. Oh, Millie! How are things at work? Hi! Hello! Oh, waitress!
With our mobile calling feature, you pay nothing for all local calls to and from other Ameritech Cellular customers.
Hi, Mom!
Try it now. It's free for 3 months.
You called all these people? Yeah, for free!
Sign up for plans starting at $25 a month and get a free ClearPath digital phone, 100 minutes, and free mobile calling.
Back at Northwestern, at times it looks like Champaign, Illinois, with the fans in the crowd. Assembly Hall will be busy Tuesday night for the big game with Indiana, and 17,000 plus expected for that. Rest of the country active today, and not very many surprises to speak of. The favorites getting themselves into late February gear. Many will have postseason tournaments. Of course, the Pac-10 is not among them. And we mentioned earlier, Ohio State was an 11-point winner over Indiana. So the race continues between Michigan State, Purdue, and Ohio State for the conference championship. Outside opportunities for Indiana and Illinois. Lepore driving, and a great follow-up. We have seen Brody Darren's presence in this game. He adds 2 to his collection. He's got 5. Well, Northwestern has an inside game here suddenly.
Yeah, and when you have an inside game, it releases and helps you on the perimeter. So look for Johnson, Lepore to have a little more success on the perimeter.
Johnson shot in and out, and there's Marcus Griffin. His presence again being made. Northwestern a 9-7 edge in the second half. Griffin with a difficult catch. And traveling called on Illinois.
That play would have worked if it was a little bit more natural, but everybody was given eye contact, and they sort of radared it, and Northwestern was able to collapse defensively.
Illinois by 22. The lead has been greater than that. Here's moments ago, the cleanup.
See what happens when you're able to penetrate, break them down. Illinois doesn't block out. And that's been a weakness for Illinois and a big weakness for Northwestern. Being out-rebounded overall 13 plus a game. But that's not a strength for Illinois. Illinois has struggled with their defensive rebounding.
Back to the subject of penetration, Northwestern had none of it in the first half and really had very few good looks at the basket.
And when, yeah, I mean, they were able to penetrate, but there was always some help defense, and that was because Northwestern really didn't have the proper spacing. But now you see when they break them down, Jennings is able to get open in the perimeter, and he's had some success here in the second half.
The other thing we're not seeing on the part of Northwestern, and it's good news for the Cats, are turnovers. We saw them in bunches in the first half.
Yeah, and their turnovers were the bad type of turnovers where they were able to convert into easy buckets on the other end.
So Poor with a three and cleaned up by Brown on the quick outlet to Frank Williams. Look how quickly Illinois gets into the offense. Well done.
See, you got to know where Bradford is all the time. All the teams know they got a key on him. Let the other guys beat you on the Illinois team, and that's why Bradford had to really work hard offensively. Had to change his game a little bit.
Like the play of Brody Darren. He's now up to 7. The average is just 4.
I mean, he's come in and just really played with a lot of confidence. I mean, he was sort of a shining star in the first half. They didn't have many, but he played well.
Wildcats have gotten very little from their backcourt, so the front court has done some scoring. Williams dribbles through trouble and scores. Frank Williams almost lost control.
Now you see Northwestern maybe a little tired there. You see where Frank Williams was able to break down, and there was a couple white jerseys there, but talked about digging in there, a big hole, and they've dug a big hole, and they've played hard here in the second half. And sometimes you got to take a rest. What happens on defense.
Northwestern will use a timeout with 12:54 for the game. And our score, Illinois 42 and Northwestern 17. 8 teams have completed play in the conference today. 2 more, the 2 you're seeing tonight, will finish up momentarily, and you can pretty much put Illinois on the board with a victory. This is what the standings look like without Illinois. Northwestern's game factored in, but assuming Illinois wins, the Illini will move into 4th place ahead of Indiana, and Indiana and Illinois will see each other Tuesday night on prime time.
Yeah, I mean, you see Illinois started off slow, but they're slowly but surely inching their way up the standings, and that'll be a big game for Illinois at home. After losing to Purdue earlier in the season at home, you can't afford to lose too many there, and they're going to be coming in. And Indiana, after losing to Minnesota on the road, they need to somehow catch up somewhere and get even with that loss.
Doug, we were talking about the front line scoring of the Wildcats. Almost all the points there. And if the guards could just add something here, Northwestern could get some offense.
And that's surprising because Johnson, Lepore, Newman, that's their strength on the perimeter. And they just haven't had any success. A+ for the big guys, and we won't want to grade the guards.
No. No, I think a failing grade might be in order. 12-20 for the game. Illinois making it 6 wins in a row before the evening is finally over. Johnson on the move, and we may have free throws coming up. We'll see.
Well, that was the first time where Johnson, I mean, in the whole game was real decisive and aggressive and took it to the hole with a purpose. I mean, other than that, I mean, he really has been sort of tentative and talked about maybe being a little not scared, but just having a hard time figuring out what Illinois is doing there defensively.
And Johnson, 82% shooter, 0 for 7 from the floor. And his very first point of the night. To get information on your favorite Big Ten team, we invite you to go online at www.big10.org for all the basketball and conference news from around the Big Ten. The Northwestern faithful remaining faithful despite what they've seen tonight.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on the computer. My daughter just learned how AOL and all that thing. And she won't let me get on there, but it's a great website they have, the Big Ten is, and it just gives you a lot of neat information and keeps you up to speed and do a nice job.
And they'll have at least 5 teams in the NCAA tournament. maybe more, depending on how the rest of February breaks down, and also who wins the Big Ten tournament at the United Center. But we were talking before the game that it's very possible that the 5 that are at the top of the conference right now could get into a situation where they could get past the first couple of rounds and be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that after a week in the NCAA tournament, see those 5 teams in the Sweet 16. I think that Michigan State is just one of those teams with all their veterans, and once it's March Madness time, you're going to see those veterans step it up a couple notches. And then Ohio State, Scooney Penn, that guy is a real winner. I mean, what a leader they have on their team.
Problem now for Northwestern. Jennings off the court, 4 fouls. Not as if the Wildcats were expected to win the game, but he has been the major part of their offense. Blake fires a 3, knocked it down. Winston Blake, the freshman from Texas.
A nice job by Hart. He's 6'8", puts the ball on the floor and able to break down Illinois, and is able to release on the perimeter. Once again, they've only had not too many good looks from behind the line.
Corey Bradford tried to add it. There's Krupalia with a rebound. Held ball, and that favors Northwestern. After a horrible first half, Northwestern has 16 second half points. We're watching Big Ten basketball on ESPN+.
Hey kids, take a journey with us every Monday and Friday afternoon at 3 when we go to have fun at the zoo. Learn all about exotic animals from around the world. You'll discover things about animals that you never knew before. Watch Monday at 3 for At the Zoo, and Fridays at 3 for the best of At the Zoo. Right here on WJYS, Channel 62.
God bless you, I'm Bishop E, because I've been set free, and God's got a plan for thee right here at the Apostolic Pentecostal Church of Morgan Park every Sunday at 11 and 4:30 p.m. 11 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. and on Wednesday at 12 noon and Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. I want to see your face in the place right here at the park where the Lord is blessing us right now. Come on over here where the table is spread and the feast of the Lord is going on right now. God bless you is my prayer.
Since we started offering help, we've seen a reduction in absenteeism, mistakes, injuries.
I knew I had a problem, but I was afraid to ask for help.
Something was wrong. We were really worried about him.
If anyone here asks, we can help.
Ask about drug or alcohol treatment referral at your company or call 1-800-662-HELP.
I'm lucky to be working in a place that's giving me another chance.
Tonight's game was brought to you by HMO Illinois, from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, a company with plans for the future. And by Prairie Farms Ice Cream. Taste the homemade goodness of Prairie Farms. Jim Barber and Doug Altenberger, nice of you to stay with us tonight. If you saw the first half, Northwestern was in the twilight zone, failing to score for more than 15 minutes. But in the second half, much different story.
Yeah, they've had a lot more success offensively, been able to free up from three-point line, and Jennings has done well down low, and Blake, he's able to pop one from three-point land, and they seem to be much more fluid. I think at halftime, Kevin O'Neill was able to calm them down and say, guys, listen, you know, we've got to run our offense, settle down, make some adjustments, and you can do that with a young team at halftime. It's hard to do that in a timeout in the heat of battle.
Great deal of composure from O'Neill in the first half, despite what was happening to his young team. Another fast break for Illinois, and Williams got hammered. And Frank Williams will get free throws.
Well, one thing about O'Neill, he's a winner. I mean, he knows the formula. He did it at Marquette, did a great job there. I remember Illinois going up there into Milwaukee, and he had those guys playing so hard defensively. They were really sound. Tennessee, he got it going. He recruited all those kids, and he's got a good group of young freshmen here. I mean, you can just see that they've got the talent level, just need the experience and a little more strength, and they'll get that in the offseason with their weightlifting program.
Frank Williams' numbers will be very important Tuesday night, penetrating Indiana's defense when the Hoosiers come to Assembly Hall in Champaign. Imagine how loud that place will be that night.
Well, he's going to have to learn, Bradford and him will have to learn how to play a little defense. They've done a good job, but A.J. Guyton's one of the premier scoring guards in the country. I mean, he can fill it up quicker than anybody.
A little two-man game that went south for Northwestern, and back comes Illinois, leading 43-22. Rapaglia down low, shot blocked. This has not been the sharpest of second halves for Illinois.
Well, that happens when you go on the road. This is your second game, and a lot of times things aren't going to go real easy, but that's when you got to play sound defense and rebound, and just doesn't have to look pretty on the road. Just got to win on the road, that's all.
Well, and in fairness, too, you're ahead 30-6, so keeping your concentration level is not at the head of priorities. But another Illinois steal and highlight.
We talked about turnovers. There's a turnover that turned into a transition bucket, and the great feed by Williams to Brown, and Brown finishes it off. Brown's really been active coming off the bench.
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it sure was. You could just see how he keeps his head up, and he doesn't give it away too much. See, Newman, he probably should have slid in to take the charge from Williams, but he was sort of in no man's land. He was going to try to fake, and then all of a sudden, Williams gets out of the way. Therefore, he didn't get the charge, and Brown just elevates, and he just went upstairs on. There you see our Dynegy power stats.
Brought to you by Dynegy, America's dynamic energy company and proud sponsor of Big Ten basketball. You did such a wonderful job of feeding me that one there.
that would be an assist, I think.
Yes.
Assist, Altenberger. I don't get too many of those.
You know, going back again to your career where you were such a great shooter, that would probably be your first assist, I would think.
No, I didn't look inside very much. Once I got the ball, it was up. The big guys didn't like me to have them on the same sideline.
Well, let's see, your former coaching mentor not doing a bad job out west, is he?
Yeah, he's been able to put a pretty good competitive team together. He got into the tournament last year, and he just loves to coach. I think he'll coach as long as he can.
Speaking of Lou Henson at New Mexico State, Ben Johnson, Northwestern's top scorer, coming in. And now has recorded his third point of the night. And Kevin O'Neill does not stop working the sidelines.
Yeah, and that surprised me. Johnson, you know, averaging 12 points a game, but he's had some big point nights in the Big Ten. 26 against Purdue, 19 against Ohio State. I mean, those are quality opponents, and he has struggled tonight. I mean, the guards for Illinois, Williams and Bradford, have really done a nice job switching defensively. He's never had many good looks.
You speak of Johnson. Johnson had 26 of the 58 Northwestern points against Purdue, almost half. A 21-point lead for Illinois with 9 minutes for the game. Darren calling for the ball, and he'll get it from Drayton, but not as close as he'd like. Now Drayton penetrates. Johnson shot blocked. Shot clock works against him. Can they get it off? No, sir. Back comes Illinois, and a lob pass into the Northwestern cheering section.
Brown wasn't going to get that one. That one was way upstairs. But you see the eye contact that Brown and him, and see Williams going to come out.
Kevin O'Neill would enjoy the second half numbers there. Just 3 Northwestern mistakes. We saw one earlier when Illinois put up a highlight. Wildcats low for the season is 26. They're just about to bust that. Also had 29 in the game against Michigan State, and a good-looking turnaround shot from Adam Robinson.
Okay, Northwestern done a nice job getting the ball inside. Robinson gets it in there, goes straight up over the top of Cook. It's a tough shot to make, and having a lot of success inside.
Mast in and out. Northwestern, hey, they're within 19 and got the ball. Am I trying to create some drama here?
Well, you never know. They can hit some shots from outside. Johnson gets going, and You got Nate Mass and guarding Robinson down low, and the crowd and everybody else saw it, but the Wildcats didn't see it.
That's team foul number 7 on Illinois. Northwestern, one of the better free throw shooting teams, will be going to the line for the rest of the half. In this second half, Northwestern has outscored Illinois 20-15. Robinson played 11 minutes Wednesday night in State College, but misses the 1-and-1.
You know, when you look at in the press book for the Wildcats, they say they're the youngest team in the country. All the minutes, basically freshman and sophomore, like 99% of it. I mean, O'Neal knew going in this year that it was going to be a rough time, but I don't think he anticipated this rough.
Not particularly the start they saw tonight, in which they fell behind 23-0. We'll continue from Evanston in a moment.
The M-Class. It performs like a Mercedes, no matter where it goes.
These days, it seems like everybody's always reachable, instantly accessible. Until there's a busy signal, a hold message, and the realization that your insurance company isn't there for you. Enter Country Companies, where you'll always talk to real people with real answers, real quick. After all, what good is a phone if there's no one there to listen? Country Companies Insurance.
It's his first time in the hospital. So who do you want making the decisions? We're HMO Illinois, the only Blue Cross HMO, where you choose the doctors from the widest network and make the medical decisions together. Respect. It's why working men and women rate HMO Illinois #1 in member satisfaction. At HMO Illinois, we want to be your health plan, not your doctor.
Illinois brought a lot of people tonight and have enjoyed what they've seen so far, including the 23-0 shutout to start the game.
Yeah, we talked about Frank Williams doing a great job of leading Brown, and Brown just finishes it off.
And that is our Ameritech call of the game. Starters getting a breather tonight. Right now, the remaining starters are 3 on the court for Illinois. Johnson.
And that's one of the things you talked about. They played Minnesota Thursday. They play tonight, and then they play Indiana Tuesday. So you've got some games here within a short period of time, and talked about keeping your conditioning and stamina and endurance, and you're going to see him come out and go deep in his bench here late in the second half.
Difficult schedule for the Illini, playing 3 games in 5 nights. And some points for 24, Sean Harrington. His first 2 of the night. Illinois arrived yesterday. Well, the big snow hit the Evanston area, almost a foot. Typically, the Illini during the week, in order to avoid missing many classes, sometimes will bus a day of game.
Yeah, Locker changed his mind, get the guys back into class on Friday, and that's nice to see a head coach who thinks about school and grades. I mean, it's fine when you talk it, but you got to walk it, and he sort of does, definitely walks the talk or talks the walk.
I would agree with one of those.
They bust up here. I was surprised living here in Chicago. It did not look very good in the evening coming up from Champaign. I'm sure we got about 9 or 11 inches of snow, and nice down in Champaign, but they said the trip coming up was fine.
It's a pretty Illinois city, and even prettier when it snows. Most of the house is covered with the Christmas look, with all the white stuff around. It's supposed to warm up later in the week, though. Pretty active bodies flying everywhere there. Northwestern in transition. There's Hardy with a rebound, and he steps back to the line.
You know, one of the things that Kevin O'Neill talked about earlier in the week, he said that as in practice things carry over, and he saw a lot of consistencies. He said some nights we get one guy who gets 26 or another night gets 18. He says we never have everybody on the same page scoring real well. And I think tonight, you know, the whole team has struggled overall. I mean, no one's played extremely well offensively other than Jennings. But he said he started to see the team come around. They went through a tough period, or the wall, as the coaches like to call it earlier. But he seems to see that thought they might play better tonight, he anticipated.
Wildcats could have added to their total, Doug. They missed a couple of one-and-ones here, but it's been that type of night shooting the ball as well, from the floor and from the line.
Well, a lot of times when you spend so much energy playing defense, you got to rust somewhere. And offensively, you could see that it just took a lot out of them. And even when they were open, they didn't look very good in the first half. And that's because they're concentrating so hard on defense.
Winston Blake got tied up inside with Lucas Johnson for his second personal foul. Lucas will get free throws here. 18 fouls now on Northwestern, 9 on Illinois. Those are numbers that, however, will not matter down the stretch. Lucas, a 73% shooter, bags the first one. He has 4 points for the night. Well, Doug, take away the 23-0 start. It's been an even game.
Yeah, and that's what, you know, Kevin O'Neill's going to talk about his young team. And he said, you know what, guys, you can't start off that slow in this league and expect to come back and win. And he'll take the positive out of the game, whatever he can, and try to build on it with his young guys.
And as we showed you the numbers earlier, those very, very slow starts have been against some very good Big Ten teams.
Jennings again, nice jump hook. I mean, that's a tough shot to defend. You can't block that. Puts your body on it and jumps up in the air. The hook.
Aaron Jennings, Northwestern's MVP for tonight. 5:20 left in the game. And the foul spotted on Jennings. And that's going to be number 5, and he will get a nice ovation, and deservedly so.
You see again, Kevin O'Neill teaching his pupil there. Coming off. Sure, I'm telling him he played well offensively, but defensively you broke down. That's why you got in foul trouble and fouled out of the game. And there you see another young freshman, Brian Cook. Lon Kruger talking about him, and during the week works really hard in practice, getting better and better. He's got a big frame on him, and over the offseason put some weight on there that'll help him defensively be a little more explosive.
And you know, his free throw shooting is picking up nicely.
Yeah, and I think, again, he's just got a natural ability shooting. He's got great hands. You see when he goes up there, his shot is so soft. It hits the rim and still bounces around, and that's what good shooters have.
Cook has knocked down 12 of his last 14 from the line, extending back to the Iowa game last Saturday. Illinois continuing to work with the hands off the steal, and McClain fouled, but credit Frank Williams for getting that activity started.
Well, we talked about Frank Williams, the great hands he has. I mean, he's very active there. He's leads the team in steals and second in the Big Ten. I mean, you really got to know where he is, and he will sell out and go for the steal. And when he does that, you got to make him pay the price.
Sergio McClain has been the beneficiary of the quick hands of Illinois' defense tonight. McClain gets the first free throw. 51 for Illinois and 28 for Northwestern.
And he's starting to play a lot better. He had a knee surgery in the offseason this summer, and then he had it re-injured a little bit and was struggling with some aches and pains, but he has settled down and is playing some solid minutes for Illinois.
McClain with 11 points for the night, and that'll probably be his last tour of duty as Bradford, who has enjoyed some rest tonight, is in the game for Illinois. Bradford, Williams, and Cook, Johnson, and Brown. Northwestern, Darren, Johnson, Blake, Drayton, and Hardy. And a foul.
Darren does a nice job of getting down deep low below that box, and when a big guy like Darren, who's got some nice muscle development for a freshman, gets that ball and has some strength, he goes up strong and able to get to the free throw line. That's what you teach your big guys. Get down in that box area, get that ball, make yourself a big wide open target.
We talked about how well Aaron Jennings has played tonight before he fouled out, but Brody Darren has put together 7 points and 5 rebounds. He's been the other half of the front line duo for the Wildcats.
You see his numbers tonight, 7 points and season average 3.5, so he's doubled his season average. And again, he's played well. I mean, he's come off the bench. I mean, he has played very well. And I think defensively he's held his own too.
Williams penetrates, and Frank Williams able to knock down the basket. And with 4:25 remaining in the game, Northwestern has taken a 30-second timeout.
And right now, you know, his guys, conditioning-wise, were probably a little bit tired. Wants to take a quick 30-second timeout. Just tell them, hey, listen, catch their breath. Again, teaching. Lon Kruger did a ton of teaching last year with his young guys.
A lot coming up on ESPN Plus. Let's take this moment for all those joining tonight's game to look in. Next weekend, it's a Saturday-Sunday double dip on the Big Ten Network. First on Saturday, Northwestern welcomes Lavelle Blanchard and the Michigan Wolverines to Evanston at noon. Then on Sunday at noon, Nittany Lions of Penn State head to West Lafayette to take on Purdue. And at 2 o'clock, stick around when the Golden Gophers head to Iowa City for a battle of the Hawkeyes. That's Michigan at Northwestern noon on Saturday. Then on Sunday, Penn State at Purdue at noon, and Minnesota at Iowa, all on your Big Ten Network station. And the Purdue Boilermakers, Doug, playing very, very well right now.
Yeah, they're a team, you know, went into Champaign, had struggled, lost to double overtime against Michigan and West Lafayette, and they won that, and I think they found the formula. You know, they figured out how we can win in this league, and they have really gone on, and I think, to me, have been a surprise in the Big Ten.
If Purdue continues to win its games and get some help, perhaps they'll share in the Big Ten championship.
Michigan State's got to go through Indiana. They had a big win this afternoon against Wisconsin.
Again, Indiana and Illinois mix it up Tuesday night in Champaign. And for Northwestern, to say it does not get easier. Well, Ohio State is next.
Yeah, you know, in this league, it's like the weak get weaker and the strong get stronger. I mean, as soon as someone senses that you're breaking down, they take advantage of it.
3:23 left before this one ends. You're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN Plus.
Let's talk golf right now, right in the winter, no matter what the weather, all year long. Hi, Mike North here. Imagine playing golf indoors. Practice your drive, improve your swing. That's right, Indoor Golf Links of America in Orland Park. It's actually the same as having your own personal trainer, only better. It's at your own pace, your own convenience. Indoor Golf Links lets you continue the improvement in privacy. So when you tee off next spring, you'll be yards ahead of the rest of them. Driving an indoor golf is definitely worth the drive. Tell them Mike North sent you. You never know who you might see there.
WJYS-TV has stretched its broadcast signal to better reach you and to reach you better. Now, from high atop the Sears Tower, WJYS can now also be seen on Channel 30.
Altenberger, former Illinois star. I'm Jim Barber. If you stayed with us throughout the entire broadcast, we congratulate you. Hardy and Johnson, just 4 free throws and well below their average, and Without Hardy and Johnson, no chance for Northwestern tonight.
Northwestern is a type of team where they've got to have their young guys play really well, and that's what Kevin O'Neill was talking about. He says, I've got one or two young guys play well, then the rest of the guys struggle. And tonight, those guys have struggled, and it's the big guys inside the young guys who played well. And watching Illinois last year, that was a big problem for them. Bradford might have a big night, but the guys down below might struggle. And that's, again, young teams and just trying to figure out what is expected of each other.
And the somewhat encouraging news for Northwestern, when they get into the Big Ten tournament at the UC, the United Center, in March, they will not have to face the #1 seed in the conference. They'll actually face a lower tier team, the #6 place team in the league. And Northwestern has done, and I'm not implying that will happen this year, but has done okay in the Big Ten tournament in the past.
And that's what helped Illinois last year. They were able to use that as a big motivation going into this year. And I think that's one of the things, there's high expectations for this young Illinois team. But, you had still a lot of new faces. Griffin was a new guy. Williams, although he practiced with them last year, was a new face they had to play. So, Bradford had to adjust his game. A lot of new faces for Illinois. You can just see that they're starting to settle down. And they're going to be one of the hotter teams, I think, in the Big Ten as the tournament comes around.
If you remember, Illinois won on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the Big Ten tournament before losing on Sunday. Had the Illini beaten Michigan State, they would have run the table and made it into the NCAA tournament below 500. I know this question's been asked, but did Illinois come with 4 days of wardrobe? I mean, did they plan to be there?
Well, I have to tell you, some of the coaches didn't, I don't think. And but that team there at Northwestern almost beat Michigan State in their first matchup there in the tournament.
Purdue had a 23-0 run in its game against Minnesota. Michigan needed overtime to hold off Penn State. Penn State's lost a lot of close games this year, and that's been a difficulty for the Lions. If they don't make it in the NCAA tournament, their inability to finish.
Yeah, that was a big loss for them. They needed that one to stay up near 500, and with that loss their schedule just it doesn't get any easier for them. It gets tougher.
And very easy for Brody Darren at the free throw line, 1 of 6, and the Wildcats are still under the magic 30. We say magic 30 because twice this year, the Wildcats have been held in the 20s against Evansville and against Michigan State. Archibald, who was battling the flu the other night, did not play in the game at Minneapolis, but is feeling a bit better, so say the Illinois sports information folks. And Nass trying to get a steal, unable to do so. Out of bounds, Northwestern.
You see Mast out there, and like Jim said, hasn't had a lot of minutes this year, but that's a byproduct of Williams and Bradford and more talent coming in. Played a lot more last year, but he was very valuable against Minnesota coming off the bench. He just played some monster minutes for him, and I think without his clutch play, Minnesota comes away with a victory in Williams Arena.
Mast is quite a favorite of the Illinois fans, too. Played his high school ball in Champaign, so that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and whenever he gets in the game, everybody wants him to shoot.
Sure.
They get all fired up. But he's the type of guy that, everybody sees out here, what's going on. But there's certain practice players, guys that push guys. And Nate Mast is one of those guys. He's a great practice player. And a lot of times, you don't talk about those guys, but they're a necessity.
Illinois continues to empty the bench. Cleotis Brown, who came off the bench, is now gone for the night. Provided some Illinois highlights. It is now 61-28 Illinois. Northwestern began the game with a horrendous drought and is in the process of ending the game with one as well.
He's another guy that really hasn't had much success offensively. He's got just 2 points. He averages 10 points a game, and he hasn't hardly got any good shots off. He has really struggled getting in foul trouble early in the first half.
Wildcats will have the ball out of bounds with 1:40 remaining. Lon Kruger's team heads back to Champaign and to a super big matchup Tuesday night against Indiana. The remainder of the schedule includes Ohio State and a rematch with Northwestern. And there's Mass continuing to work hard.
The turnovers have really plagued Northwestern. Did a nice job for about 10 minutes here in the second half, but like Jim said, they sort of reverted back to what they did in the first half and have struggled.
Well, how about this for Illinois? A 23-0 run to begin the game and a 16-0 run as we speak. That's a couple of streaks of 39 straight points. Northwestern hasn't scored since the 8-10 mark. Maybe right here. And the Wildcats will take a timeout.
And right now we talked about teaching the young guys, and that's what he's doing right now. He's stressing to them to finish a game. You know, you want to play hard, but you can't all of a sudden let up the last 5 or 6 minutes. And he's trying to prove a point right now. It does not matter what the score is. Again, we talked about being young in this league. It's brutal. It's not a lot of fun when you got to go against some of the best teams in the country like Michigan State, Ohio State. You got Purdue with all their veterans, and Indiana, then Illinois with all the talent they have and experience and depth. And it's tough when you're a freshman because, you know, for 40 minutes, you got to play consistently hard, and it's hard to do. It's easier said than done.
Well, in arguably the best league in the country.
Yeah, no question about it. This league, I mean, top to bottom, I mean, those 5 teams, and then Penn State, if they're in another league, I mean, they're definitely in the NCAA tournament.
Should be a joy to watch the Big Ten tournament this year at the United Center.
Well, the season isn't over yet. There's going to be a lot of interesting how this all shakes up. I mean, Michigan State is got definitely in a good position, but anything can happen. Like you said, those Purdue Boilermakers are just waiting right there for anybody to slip, and they'll take a tie.
Purdue's most impressive win of the year a couple of weeks ago against Michigan State, a game in which they trailed by 10 with just 13 minutes left.
Boy, and it seemed like right there about that 10-minute factor that looked like they were right ready to fold, and they just sucked it up and somehow willed that one for a win. And the rest of the league was rooting for Purdue, that's for sure.
Sure. Less than a half minute to go. And Illinois continues to play hard on defense. The Illinois fans, mostly seated in the upper deck here, have enjoyed their trip to Evanston, and why not? Final score, Illinois 63 and Northwestern 30. Pretty impressive tonight, Doug.
Yeah, not much room to celebrate, though. They've got to go back Tuesday night against Indiana. Big game for them.
And next weekend, a lot of basketball on the Big Ten Network.